Hello, CS20 class. It's Oluchi, and today I'm going to be telling you about the life and career of the African American computer scientist, mathematician, and rocket scientist Annie J. Easley. Annie Easley was born on April 23rd, 1933, in racially segregated Birmingham, Alabama. Her and her older brother were raised by a single mother, Mary Melvina Hoover, who Annie considered to be her greatest role model because she really made the importance of education known to her kids. She was a great support system who taught Annie from an early age that she's always going to have to work hard to get where she wants and needs to be in life. Before the Civil Rights Movement, educational and career opportunities for African American children were very limited. They were educated separately from white children, and their schools were most often inferior to white schools. Annie was fortunate to have her mother who supported her and advised her to work hard for what she wanted. Annie attended schools in Birmingham from grades 5 to 12 and graduated as valedictorian from Holy Family High School. When it came to careers, Annie initially thought that nursing and teaching were the only careers open to black women, and she chose nursing over teaching. But later on, in high school, she began thinking of becoming a pharmacist. She went to Xavier University in New Orleans, where she majored in pharmacy for about 2 years. Annie got married in 1954. Then she left school and briefly returned home to Birmingham. When she first registered to vote in Alabama, she was subjected to a Jim Crow-era poll tax and a test on Alabama's history. And during this point in time, in order for a black person to be able to vote, they had to take a literacy test as well, which are described as near impossible. But Annie was able to use her college education to help others overcome these voting restrictions. Annie worked at NASA before it was even NASA. Her career in computer science began in 1955. She first heard about NASA, or NACA as it was called back then, from the local newspaper. The paper described the job of a computer, which piqued Annie's interest. And within 2 weeks of applying, Annie was working at NACA as a computer. Annie began her job as a human computer, doing computations for researchers. This involved analyzing problems and doing calculations by hand. Her earliest work involved running simulations for the Plum Brook reactor facility, where she was one of only 4 black employees working at the lab. Easley worked as a computer until they started to get calculation machines. Then, the former computers were either changed to math technicians or mathematicians. By now, she had become skilled in computer programming, and later got involved in the research of Centaur technology, a high-energy rocket technology that uses liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen to boost rockets into space. The Centaur was a first-of-its-kind rocket, and its legacy endures to this day. Surveyor 1, which was the first American space probe to land on an extraterrestrial body, was powered by a Centaur rocket when it landed on the moon. Annie went on to become the leading member of the team which developed and implemented code used in researching energy conversion systems, as well as analyzing alternative power technology, including the battery technology that was used for early hybrid vehicles, as well as for the Centaur upper stage rocket. Her contributions to the Centaur project lay a foundation for launching future satellites and space vehicles, including the 1997 launch of Cassini to Saturn. Annie Easley helped make modern spaceflight possible. Annie later decided that mathematics was the field that was better suited to the kind of work she was doing, and in the 70s, she returned to school to earn her degree in mathematics from Cleveland State. She did much of her coursework while also working full-time. Annie was a firm believer in education, and she was very dedicated in her outreach efforts at NASA. She not only participated in school tutoring programs, but was a very active participant in the Speakers Bureau. She informed students about NASA's work and wanted to especially inspire female and minority students to consider STEM careers. Later on in her career, Easley took on the additional role as an equal employment opportunity counselor. In this role, she helped supervisors address issues of gender, race, and age in discrimination complaints. Annie remembers the day that she and her room supervisor made a pact to wear pantsuits. "It did cause quite a stir," said Annie, "but there was one woman who said, 'I was just waiting for the first one to wear pants.' You know, we took the emphasis off what you're wearing. It's more like what you're actually producing." The small change in clothing was something that really helped pave a way for women's rights in the workplace. Being an African American woman born in the 1930s and entering the workforce in the 50s, Annie faced a number of obstacles stemming from the fact that she was a black woman. She stayed for over 30 years at NASA, where she says to have had more good memories than bad, although she was well aware of the racial discrimination she often experienced. She remembers the many times she would pose for pictures along with her coworkers for NASA's promotional photographs. She was humiliated to find that no matter where the photos were used, she was always cut out of them. Another instance was when she was denied the financial aid that NASA gave to other employees to pay for additional college courses. She wasn't even given a reason or explanation as to why they denied her. She says that still wasn't enough to deter her from her life goals. Annie's social life revolved around the Lewis Research Center. She took up skiing in her 40s, going on to found and serve as the first president of the NASA Lewis Ski Club. She also belonged to the running club and the Suggestion Awards Committee. Outside of Lewis, she tutored school children as well as high school dropouts returning to school. In addition to her technical and outreach activities, Annie was very active in the annual Children's Christmas Play, Center Athletics, and the Business and Professional Women's Association. Easley has stated that she never set out to be a role model or a trailblazer. Although her work made a great difference in the world of science, she never received any recognition from the media or any awards. But she was inducted into the NASA Hall of Fame in 2015. Many who knew her would say that it was not only the work that she did that made a difference, but her energy and positive attitude that really had a tremendous impact on the center. Easley consistently emphasized the importance of teamwork. She expressed great appreciation and admiration for the people that worked alongside her. There are many illustrations throughout her career that showcase her determination, discipline, kindness, and generosity. Easley retired in 1989, but remained an active participant in the Speakers Bureau, as well as the Business and Professional Women's Association, until she passed away on June 25, 2011.